Yeah, too many windows. Okay, next up we've got a awesome headliner, Cathy Carson. Cathy Carson is a cancer nurse, a counsellor, and a spoken word performer from County Down in Northern Ireland. Her writing focuses on the human condition and connection. She's headlined at open mics, festivals, and performed for radio and television, and is currently working towards a one-woman show addressing the issue of homelessness. Just give a nice warm welcome, please, for Cathy.
Thank you so much, and thank you everybody. Some astounding work tonight, really, really powerful work. I'm just going to take myself off the big screen because that's too much face. That's better. Yeah, just really beautiful work from everybody. I'm just really humbled to be here and hear you all. So I'm going to keep it a little bit lighter tonight if I can. I'm going to finish with one that's quite upbeat, and the first one I'm going to do is called Copper Pennies. It was the hop, skip, drag, swagger that caught my eye. You had your fists forced into jean pockets, all grown man attitude in a small boy frame. I figured you were 7, maybe 8, and I hadn't seen you before. I watched your shoulders sag further with every door closed as you went from house to house, and I wondered if you were collecting or seeking sponsorship. So I got a few coins out just in case, and I watched and waited, and you reached my gate. You spotted me in the window, you grinned at me like we were old friends, and you strode my path with your chin in the air like you owned the world. And you knocked my door 3 times. When the door barely opened, you shoved a flame red head into my hallway. You scanned my living room for evidence, and you said, "Here, missus, have you any children?" But those words, they landed in the hollow of me, where 4 children had begun, each one conceived of hope and longing and loss, and each one named, their whole lives carved out in my heart before they left me, and the last one scraped from within me, like he had never belonged. So, no, I said, I don't have any children. And you scratched a bird's nest into your crown. You placed your hand in mine, got cool and smooth as a pebble, and you looked up at me with copper eyes, like pennies that had just dropped. And you said, "Missus, are you not allowed them? My mummy isn't allowed me." And I remember steadying myself against the door frame, scrambling for words, anchor, breath, but you were already on my sofa, kicking off your size 2 trainers, tucking sock soles up in under your bottom. "I'm staying with Eva," you shouted. "It's not the next house, not the next house, but the next house. She's my auntie, she's Ginger." And you waited. "I'm sure I'm Ginger." And you gave me this look that I would come to know meant, "Keep up." "Do you have a PlayStation?" Now, you see, at this stage, I know. I should have said you shouldn't be in a stranger's house, that maybe you should leave, but something inside me recognized this indiscriminate disclosure, this seeking out of safe adults, this need to be known and seen, that if not caught, I knew would turn into fear of the same. So instead, I said, "I don't have a PlayStation, but I do have Disney." "Toy Story!" You jumped back in my sofa and you rearranged the cushions because you were going nowhere. So the first time we watched Toy Story, and the second time you asked for crayons, I had none, for drawing paper, and I had none. So we lay belly down on a tiled kitchen floor, and we drew on the back of unused wallpaper with Sharpie pens. And there were so many times after that. 2 years of knocks on my door with paintings for my fridge, or your face lit up with pride at new trainers, but mostly you just wanted to come in because you were bored, or Eva had told you to give her headpiece. On the day we moved home, to just 2 streets away, you wailed. You buried your flame red head into my hips and you hiccuped into my pockets. Am I allowed in your new house? And I thought of all the things that we both hadn't been allowed. I thought of paintings taken from my fridge, packed carefully into boxes, of Toy Story and coal bellies on tiled kitchen floors, of the hollow that you had filled. So I lifted your face to mine, God, those pennies. Oh yes, I said, you were definitely allowed in my new house. And over the years, the visits got less until they stopped. And I still see you sometimes. At 14, you tower above me now, but that hop, skip, drag swagger will catch my eye. And you will grin at me like you did the first time and remind me that I may not be a mother, but I can still have children. Thank you. Thank you. This second piece is about recovery from dysfunction. I grew up in a home with domestic violence, and I've been really lucky that so many people in my life have come in and helped me change behaviors that I learned at home. So this is called prayer. When I was younger, I made monsters, but I didn't draw them on a page or mold them out of plasticine. I made monsters with my rage. I made monsters out of people. You see, I didn't understand that you shouldn't hurt another person just because you can. I would drag darkness from the pits of people, and I knew every trick and hack. And I'd manipulate, humiliate like a puppeteer on crack. You see, I learned it from my father. He made a monster out of me. When he made it so that anger was the only thing that I could feel, because anger felt safer somehow than fear or loss or pain. But it's the active form of all of those. It's a cover-up for shame. Because shame is the most corrosive force. It destroys anything that's good. And it chews up your tomorrows and it spits out all your coulds. If shame is what defines you, then it splinters your self-worth. And you force others to treat you badly because you think that's what you deserve. And one day I couldn't find the button or the switch that I could flick. This person wasn't playing ball with me. I couldn't find what made them tick. They met my anger with compassion. And they let my insults go over their heads. They looked past my behavior and they searched for me instead. And piece by piece, my walls came down, as they did everything they could. Against all evidence to the contrary, they believed that I was good. They taught me that hurt people, and then hurt people hurt some more. And then on it goes until all the world is sore. And I was devastated by what I'd done. With all the harsh words I had spoken, I knew I had to make amends with all the people I had broken, but this wasn't just before Facebook. This was way before mobile phones attract people to their workplaces. I waited for hours outside their homes. I wrote letters. I made phone calls. I sat in cafe bars for hours, weeping, shamefaced and heavy-hearted as I opened up my scars. And it's 25 years since the clarity. And I'm still drowning in the debt. You see, I can't come to the surface because I'm not finished yet. I'm still riddled with regret. And I'm still sorry to my bones. And with every breath I take each day, Lord, I am trying to atone because I've hurt people. And I hope, and it's only fair that healed people heal people. I'm on my knees every night. And that's my prayer. Thank you. There was a discussion on the Find List page a few weeks ago, and a nurse had put on a beautiful poem, and it just reminded me, I don't very often do my nurse poems, so I thought I'd put one in the set tonight. This is called Lurcher. I read through your medical records before you came. Graphic pictures showed a bulky cancerous tumor, to the left side of your tongue. At 82 years old, you had decline surgery and I didn't blame you. You see, they would have removed most of your tongue and built you another with the skin on your wrist and used the skin on your thigh to replace that. Months of speech therapy would have followed, and even if you'd managed to swallow, there are no taste buds on your wrist. I read that you lived alone, and the word independently was in italics. District Nursing and Social Services had both documented several times. He continues to be non-compliant with interventions, and I liked you already. And you arrive and you're smaller than I imagined. You're wiry, bald under a woolen hat with a black overcoat that might have fitted you once, but now swallows you whole. And you scowl, you shuffle into my room, you fill the air with pipe tobacco, whiskey, and you roar. Don't think I'm opening my mouth for you. I've been in this damn hospital for 2 solid hours of poking and bloody prodding already. And not for the first time. I wish my mask didn't hide my smile. It is impossible to convey every emotion through your eyes, but God, I try hard. I just want to see how you're getting on. And I push the smile through my voice instead, and I hope you feel it. I do you say. Well, you can see from there. And you gather the folds of your coat towards you, and you wrap your arms around them as though they are your children. A small bag for collecting dog poo escapes from your pocket and feathers to the floor under your chair, and I am in. What kind of dog do you have? I ask. How do you know I have a dog? Eyes like flints. A dog lover always knows another dog lover. And I swear, the room gets warmer, and you let the folds of the coat fall, and you wriggle to the back of the chair like a schoolboy with a flicker of what could be a smile if you let it be, but you don't for now. You cup fingers round the arms of the chair and you take a breath. There's only one kind of dog for me. Wee lurchers, great dog, magic temperament, and then silence. And I let it sit. And I watch you nod to it. I watch you press pearled tears back to where they came from with the pads of your thumbs. You temple your fingers and you bow your head as if in prayer. I used to have two. And you sigh out the sadness. She died in my arms. 13 years we were together, 13. And you look up, needing this loss to be seen, held, and got everything about you. Tells me it hasn't been. I'm so sorry, I say. They're family, aren't they? People who don't have dogs just don't understand. When did you lose her? Just before all this bloody nonsense, and you point towards your face. And the other one, she is lost without her. She pines and she whines and she won't eat. It sounds like you're pining too, I say. You're both grieving. I set the word down like permission. I watch it loosen your shoulders and open you up. And you tell me that you rescued her from a farm. You find her tied up and scrawny, and you don't press the tears back in this time. Her name was Blue, because in the right light she was. And we chat a little easier then, about the welcome home that only a dog can give, and the way they lift you from the depths of despair. The times they run around the house like crazy for no reason whatsoever, and the indestructible toys they somehow seem able to destroy. And we talk the energy out of the room until it's still. And I know it's time. God, it's been an awful year, I say. First losing your lovely Blue, and now all this. And you look like you're in so much pain. Can you show me where it hurts? All right, love, I'll show you. and you open your mouth wide. Can I shine a torch in your mouth? I ask. As long as that light doesn't come out my ass. And there is the smile that you promised earlier. And you can't see it, but you need to trust me, because behind my mask, I'm smiling back. Thank you. This lesson is a complete change of pace. This was requested by someone in the audience. This is one that I wrote to try and make my open mic crew at home laugh rather than cry. It's called Jammy Dodgers. I never wanted children. They turn your breasts into tennis balls in tights. They scribble stretch marks across your abdomen and they take away your freedom. No, not for me. So I stuck to married men. They wanted nothing from me and I wanted nothing from them because they had the children at home. The tired, bedraggled, sexless wife, and I gave them what they needed on my terms. I had the restaurants, the hotel stays, the gifts, the adoration, none of the pairing of their socks, none of the picking up of clothes puddles, and none of the pubes in the shower, oh dear God. But then I met Charlie at Sylvia's 60th birthday party, and Charlie was a widower, handsome, charming, smart, well, reasonably. And I liked him, and I told him I'd meet him again, but sadly he dropped dead on the golf course a week later. Pity, really. He had potential. I didn't attend the funeral. A phone call came a week later from a teeth-grating scouser of a girl called Sarah. Said she was Charlie's daughter, and she wanted to meet me. Sylvia, now wait. Sylvia had given her my number. I vowed to slap Sylvia on sight. But I told her she could come the next day, and I wore red lipstick. I wanted her to remember me. Not like me. I didn't want her to come back. Just remember me. I opened the door to the smell of damp dog. A ponytailed 20-something dressed in hooded top, pale blue jeans too short, and a grubby pair of trainers that were getting nowhere near my pure wool cream carpets. But worse than all of that was the, oh dear, excuse me, the pram. It held a 2 or 3-year-old, who knows, dressed all in pink with Babe emblazoned in blue across its t-shirt. Babe held a jam biscuit in each filthy little hand. I asked her to remove her shoes, and she obliged. No socks. Turquoise blue nail varnish and a tattoo of a frog on her left ankle. Well, I retreated to the kitchen to make the tea, while she unleashed the child from the pram in the hallway. A tea bag and a mug'll do me, oh dear God. I used my best china, cups and saucers and matching milk jug. I was not lowering my standards for this girl. I placed the tea tray on the coffee table, tried not to wince as Babe rubbed jam into my pure wool cream carpets. I kept my back straight, smoothed my pencil skirt, and took a breath. Without warning, the child clambered onto my lap. I kept my hands pinned firmly to my sides. I did not want to encourage it. She's called Cassidy. Oh dear God. The child pressed into me, and something flooded through me. My hands found the plumpness of its belly, and all of my could-have-beens stitched my rib cage tight. I let my nose drop into the soft mop of curls and breathed in the staleness of it. I closed my eyes, let myself imagine it in the bath, a pyramid of soap suds upon the crown of its head. A sticky hand found my cheek, and I took it in my own, brought it to my lips, and suddenly she was gone, toddling towards her mother, who handed her a jammy dodger. And I felt like someone had taken a wrench and cranked my chest wide open. And I don't remember the rest of the visit, only that the next day I found a sticky handprint upon my French doors. Mesmerized, I placed my pen beside it, remembering the soft scratch of tiny fingernails upon my face. Today, I'm in Sainsbury's. I'm watching the items go through the scanner, listening to the rhythm of the beep, beep, beep. And when she lifts them, I can't help but smile. Sarah and Cassidy are coming today. And for the first time in my life, I'm buying jammy Dodgers. Thank you, everyone. I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for having me and enjoy the rest of your night. I really enjoyed you. Thank you.
Woo!
You're welcome to unmute yourselves, guys, and show your appreciation again for our amazing headliner.
Yes.
That was so nice.
Didn't have to use my tissues today.
So good, Cathy. Thank you. Fantastic.
Yeah, we should have had a warning that we would have got some jammy Dodgers in.
And some tissues. And some tissues. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.